Uh, so in the previous sessions, we have learned about how to design flag buttons and also input controls for making choices. That is check boxes we have seen. In today's sessions, we are going to see about radio buttons, toggle and switches and spinners and text. Okay. So radio buttons, why we use radio, when we will be using these radio buttons. So if you are having a two or more options in that, if you want to select only one, in that cases, we will be using a radio button. See, when we have a two or more options, in that cases, we will be using a radio button. So however you want to display your radio buttons, maybe on a vertical or you want to display on an horizontal, however the users need, you can display the radio buttons. How to appear, it's left to the developer. Okay. So each radio button, so whatever the radio buttons we will be using here, each of the radio buttons is an instance of the class. So instance of a class, which class? That is radio button class. Okay. So whatever the radio button we are using here, so it is normally used together. Okay. For that we will say it as a radio group. Okay. So whatever the radio button we are going to use here, all the radio buttons, it means each of the radio buttons is an instance of a class, that is radio button class. So whenever several buttons will be there inside the group, okay, whenever you will be having a n number of radio buttons inside the radio group, okay, so once you select one radio button, the other radio buttons will get unchecked. Okay, so how we need to create these radio buttons? So we need to create the radio button element in the XML layout. Okay, we need to create radio button using an element, that is in an Android Studio there is an element called radio button element. Okay, that is a radio button, where this radio button element should be created in a XML layout. Taken an element radio group, within that we have created and pick up. See, as an exam, as the code is an example. Okay, this is how it looks. Okay, where in this radio group the orientation has taken vertical. That's why it is all the radio button options as displaying in a vertical. So if you prefer, if you want to go for an horizontal display, you can take an horizontal display. So once you create, okay, so once we create a radio button, okay, once we create a radio button, so how we need to interact with our function? What we need to do? So we need to use on-click attribute in each of the radio button element. Okay, we need to use on-click attribute in each of the radio button elements. As in this example, so the on-click attribute has been used. Okay, so on-click attribute will be used in each of the radio button. So why we use on-click attribute? To declare the click event handler method for that radio button. So if you want to handle the click event on that particular radio button, we need to use on-click attribute. So which must be defined. So whatever the on-click attribute has been used in the radio button element, that callback method should be the event handling should be declared, defined within the activity class. Okay, this function should, the method should be declared in the activity class, where that method will be hosting this particular layout. Okay, so in this layout, clicking any radio button. So if you click any of the radio button, okay, so once you click on any of the radio button, if see for example here, this option has been, this radio button has been clicked. Okay, so it calls on radio button click method in the activity. So as soon as you click on that particular radio button, so it is going to call a method, that is on radio button click method will be called in an activity. So where it should create separate methods in the activity, where you should declare each radio buttons on click attribute. So we need to create a separate methods for each of the radio button element. So because each radio button element will be having an attribute on. Okay. So where whatever the click event handler method we are going to declare in an activity, that method should be public. Okay, that method should be public and it should return void and it should have an only parameter view. Okay, it should only have a parameter view. So view that was clicked. It means which view that has been clicked. So this following method, the following shows one method that is on radio button clicked. As I said that as soon as you click on the radio button, it is going to call the on radio button click method in the activity. So this is a code where we are going to write this on radio button click method in the activity for all the radio buttons. It means this method is for all the radio buttons, where this particular method is going to use switch case statements. Okay, so it will be using the switch case statements. Why? To check which button has been clicked. Okay, and it is going to be checked the resource ID of the radio button element. It means that, see, it means which radio button element we have been clicked. It has to fetch that particular radio button. So that's why it is going to check with the resource ID. Okay. So for the radio button element to determine which one was checked. In this example, so public void on radio button click, where it takes only a parameter that is view. Okay. So first statement is you are going to check whether that radio button has been clicked or not. Okay, for that we are going to use a boolean check radio button of a view element is checked. Is a method whether it is to check. So if it is checked, what happens? Check which radio button was clicked. So if it is enabled true, so if you have a 10 radio button options, within that 10 radio button, which radio button has been clicked? So in this example, there are only 3 radio buttons. Let's say this. So switch, view. This is a view. Okay, this is a view. So switch, view, get ID. So it means it has to get the ID. So here the view is a parameter which radio button element has been clicked. Okay, switch view dot get ID. So how we are going to identify that particular ID? We need to identify that particular radio button element through the ID, where this particular ID has been used as an attribute in the XML layout file for each radio button element. Okay, so we are going to fetch that radio button through the ID, where in case r.id.sameday if checked. Okay, so whatever the code you want, if checked what it has to perform, we can write our logic. So break. Otherwise, if this radio button has been clicked r.id.next today, if checked next today delivery, then break. So case r.id.pickup if checked break. It means either any one of the radio button has to be checked. Okay, so if this particular only this first case only executes, then rest of the case will not be executed. This is how it's just an example how we are going to use the radio buttons. Next is toggle buttons and switches. Okay, so where this toggle button is also an input control, or to control the input, we can use a toggle input control where it changes the setting between the two states. Okay, where toggle input control lets the user can change a setting between two states. Okay, so for that, Android provides a class called the toggle button class. For this, Android provides for this toggle input control. Android provides a class called the toggle button class, where it shows raised button on and off as shown in this figure. Okay, so along with this toggle button, Android also provides a switch class, which is a short slider. It is slider. It's a sliding option where it is a short, where it looks like a rocker switch offering two states, that is on and off. See, both these toggle button class and switch class is an extension of the compound button class. Okay, these switch class and toggle button class, both these classes are the extensions of the compound button class. Okay, both are extensions of the compound button class. So now we will see how to use this toggle button. Okay, so how to use this toggle button. So if you want to create a toggle button by using a toggle button element. So if you want to create a toggle button, we need to use a element called toggle button in the XML layer. In the XML layout. So this is how it's an example where it looks like if you use a toggle button. So, so if you use, it's not okay. Whatever the options we change the stream toggle button, as I said, it switches the um, states, that is on and off. Okay, so you need to perform that operation. If you click on or if you click off, what it has to be performed. For that, we are going to declare an attribute on click. Okay, to respond to the toggle tab, whatever the toggle tab you will be doing after using this element. Okay, so to respond for that, we need to declare an attribute, that is on click attribute. So for this, we are going to create a callback method for the toggle button. We are going to create a callback method for the toggle button. So as I said, the method, whatever the callback method we are going to declare for this particular toggle button, the method should be defined in an activity. Okay, the method should be defined in an activity where this method will be in a public, and it will be going, it is going to return a void, and it has a only parameter view. Okay, so for this we need to use a method compound button dot on check change listener. Okay, on check change listener. So what this method will do, it is going to detect the state of change of the toggle. It means on which state the toggle is there. So if you click on, what is that state? If you click off, what is that state? Okay, it is, this method is going to detect the state change, that is compound dot on check change listener. So for that, we need to create a method on check change listener. Okay, on check change listener. For this method, we are going to create an object. Okay, for this on check change listener method, we are going to create an object and assign it to the button by calling it. Okay, we assign it to the button. So this object is going to be with the button. So what this button will do after assigning this, we are going to call one more method, that is set on check change listener. It is set on click change listener method is going to be called through the object created. This object is created with the compound button dot on check change listener. So for example, the toggle click method checks whether the toggle is on or off and displays a toast message. So how this method has been used? Let's see with an example. So public void on toggle click with the only parameter view. Okay, what happens on toggle if you click that toggle button? Okay, so before performing the function, before writing the function, first we need to identify the particular element. Which element? That is toggle button element. So how we are going to find the toggle button element? Through the method find view by id. Okay, through the method find view by id, we are going to identify that particular toggle button element. So this where the object is for the toggle button. Once you find by id, we need to set on check change listener. So we need to set on check change listener. To where you are going to set that? For the particular toggle button element. Okay, that is toggle dot set on check change listener. So with the parameter, that is on compound dot on check change listener. So within this, we are going to use a method on check change. So frequently you will be changing, right? So whether the toggle button is off or whether the toggle button is on. So that's why. So compound button, button view, okay, and boolean is checked. So for that, we are going to create an object for the string buffer where we are going to append for the string buffer. We are going to append on or off. So once you're done with then we are going to check whether that particular button has been on or off, whether the toggle is enabled or disabled. We are going to check through the if condition. If is checked, okay, if is checked, it is whether it may be a true or false. So on, off, that is the buffer, that is this method on or off dot append on, else append off. So after this we are going to toast a message what in which state it is. So if it is on, the message will be toasted as on. If it is off, the message will be toasted as off. This is how we are going to use a toggle button. The next is how we need to use a switch. Okay, so where switch is a separate instance of a switch class. Okay, so button is a toggle button class. Toggle button is a toggle button class where the switch is a switch class. Switch is a separate instance of a switch class where this switch class also extends the compound button class. As I said, the switch class is also extends the compound button class. So how we need to create? So we need to create a toggle switch in the XML layout. So there is an element called switch element. By the switch element, we are going to create a switch in the XML layout. This is the example switch. So in this switch element also, we are going to use an attribute on click. So why we need to use an on click? Whatever the tab switch has been tapped, so whatever the tap we will do on that particular switch element, it has to respond that. Okay, for that we are going to declare an attribute on click. Okay, for this on click attribute, we are going to create a callback method in an activity. Okay, where whatever the callback method we are going to create, that callback method will be of public and it returns void and it only having the parameter only view. Okay, so whatever the toggle button code we have been discussed, both the switch and toggle button codes are similar to each other. Okay, so this is how if it looks as a switch. Okay, so the Android text attribute defines the string that appears to the left of the switch. So how it is going, this is how it is going to display. Okay, so how we are going to detect the state change of a switch, whether the particular switch is on, whether the particular switch is off, how we are going to detect that? Through a method where this method belongs to a class of compound button, where compound button dot on check change listener. See, as I said in the toggle button also, compound button dot on check change listener. Okay, so here also in the switch also it's similar to the toggle button also. So where we are going to create an object for the on check it change listener, and this object, whatever the object has been created for this method, is we are going to assign it to the button. How we are going to assign it to the button? By calling the set on check change listener. See here we have created an object, we have identified that particular element, and for this object we are going to call a set on check change listener with the parameters. Within that, within this method we are going to check whether the state has been changed or not. So as I explained in the toggle button, so it is similar to the switch. Next is spinners. So if we want to select a value from a set, okay. So if the user wants to select any one of the value from a set, then we can use the spinner. Okay, then we can use the spinner where this spinner provides a quick way to select a value. Okay, where that value may be of a in a set. So if you touch the spinner, so as soon as you touch the spinner, so it drops the list. the drop down list will be displayed. See, as in this figure, you can see this. If as soon as you click here, the drop down has been listed. Whatever the values, available values will be there in the drop down list. It will be listed where any one of the options can be selected. Okay, anyone can be select from the user. See, for example, if you have a long list of choices, so if you have 100 choices, okay, the spinner may go beyond the layout. So if you have a device size is 5 inch, if you have 100 drop down list, long list of choices, where it may go for a beyond the layout, where in these cases we can scroll the option, where the there is a spinner scroll where it automatically use this spinner scroll, where no code extra is required to scroll the spinner. Okay, so to create a spinner, so how to create this spinner? The spinners can be created by using a class spinner class. Okay, using a class spinner class, so where this creates a view that displays individual spinner value as a child views and let user picks one. See, this is a if spinner. Okay, the spinner can be created with the spinner class, where the spinner class is going to create a views. Okay, so it create a view where each of the value, whatever the spinner value will be there, it's an individual spinner value where it will be viewing it as a child views. So through this list, the user will be going to pick one. So we need, so when you are creating this, we need to have a follow the steps. So we need to follow the step. First, we need to create the spinner element. Okay, first we need to create spinner element in the XML layout, and for that we need to specify its values. Okay, we need to specify its values using an array and an array adapter. So we need to, whatever the spinner element we are going to create in the XML layout, for that we need to specify the values using an array and array adapter. Okay, so next step is create the spinner and its adapter using the spinner adapter. The third step, to define selection callback for the spinner. Okay, to define the selection callbacks for spinner and update the activity that uses spinner, and we need to implement adapter view dot on item selected listener interface. Okay, these three steps we need to follow. Let's look at all the three steps in detail one by one. The first step is to create the spinner. Okay, first step is create the spinner in XML layout, that is UI element. Okay, how we are going to create a spinner? To create a spinner in XML layout, we need to add an element, that is spinner element, where the spinner element provides a drop down list. So this is an example of a spinner element, how we are going to use in an XML layout. The spinner element will be there. Just use the spinner element in the layout. That is the first step we need to create. So next is create spinner and its adapter using a spinner adapter class. That is, specify the values for the spinner. So if you create a spinner, what we need to do? We need to specify the values for the spinner where it can show a drop down list for that particular spinner. So here we can add adapter. So here we can add an adapter where that adapter fills the spinner with the list of values. Okay, so if you want to do have a drop down list in the spinner, we can add, so we should add an adapter where this particular adapter fills the spinner, whatever the spinner element you have been used, it fills that spinner with the list of values. So what is this adapter? So adapter is like a bridge or an intermediary between the two incompatible interfaces. Okay, between two incompatible interfaces. So just to understand this adapter, just I will say in general example. Okay, see, for example, you have a memory card where you need to connect for the laptop. Okay, so what you will do, you will use a memory card adapter. Is it or not? You will use an memory card adapter where this memory card adapter acts like an intermediate or a bridge between the computer and the memory card. So just to understand this adapter, I have just said a general example. Okay. So if you put the laptop, will read the memory card and all will go, all the stuffs. Okay. So let's concentrate adapter, where adapter is like a bridge or an intermediate between the two incompatible interfaces. The spinner adapter pattern. So there is a pattern called spinner adapter pattern, where this pattern takes data, whatever you have been data set, it takes a data set. So whatever we have been specified, which means whatever the data set we have been specified, that is going to be taken in the spinner adapter pattern. And after taking that particular data set in this pattern, and makes a view for each data item set. So and makes a view in each data item set. So whatever the data we have been taken in an array, where that particular data should be displayed on the spinner through the array adapter. Okay, so that is in the array view, we'll be having an array adapter, where this array adapter, it means the array adapter view. So it returns a view, okay, for whatever the each object we have been used. So it returns a view for each object in the collection of data objects. So whatever the data collection of data objects we have been provided, for each of the data, for each of the object is going to return a view. Okay, and it can also be used with the list based user interface. So even if we are having a list based of user interface widgets, okay, if whenever we are having a list of list based interface, okay, list based values. So list based values means, as I am saying, a spinner, it's having a drop down list, okay, or a list view, we will be having a number of lists. So in these cases we can use this array adapter. So there is a class called spinner adapter, okay, where it is going to implement the adapter class, where it is going to implement the adapter class and allows you to define two different views. So spinner class is going to allow us to define two different views. So one first view is shows the data values in the spinner itself, and second view is shows the data in the drop down list when the spinner is touched or clicked. Okay, two views. So if you use a spinner adapter class, it is going to define the two views, that is showing the data values in the spinner itself, okay, without touching or thing. So one more view is, so drop down list will be shown when it will be shown when we touch or click on that particular spinner. Okay, so the values provided for the spinner can come from any source. So whatever the values we will be using for the spinner, it may come from any source, but whatever the values we are going to be there, that must be provided through a spinner adapter. Okay, so remember this, whatever the, so as I said, the spinner values can come from any source. We can provide the values for the spinner from any source, where whatever the values will be there, that value should be provided through the spinner adapter, such as array adapter. Okay, such as array adapter, if the values are available in the array. So if the values are available in the array, you can use an array adapter. So the following shows simple array called label arrays, so with the predefined values. So as you see in this example, so for that particular figure, this is a particular code. String array, name for the name, label underscore array. So with the list of items, and we have closed the particular array. So this has been defined in an XML layout. So next, third step, create spinner and its adapter. Okay, so as I said, so this is about the spinner element and the value, the item list, the drop down, the items for the spinner element, what we have been seeing. So next, the second step is creating the spinner and its adapter. Okay, so we need to create spinner. Okay, we need to create the spinner and set its listener to the activity where it is going to implement the callback method. So to do this, we need to follow the steps. Follow this steps. So whatever the code we are going to write, all the code should be written within the method onCreate method. Okay. First step is code which should be written in a onCreate method. Second method is gets the spinner object you added. You need to get the spinner object, whatever the object we have been added to the layout. So how we are going to get the spinner object? Through a method called find view by ID. So okay, you need to identify that particular spinner object through the spinner element through the find view by ID. For this, we are going to have a spinner object. So this is going to be find through its ID, whatever the ID we have been declared in the layout for the spinner element. So next is we need to set the selected list. It means which item has been selected. So we need to set the on item selected listener. Okay, we need to use the on item selected listener to whichever the activity implements callback method using the set on item selected listener method. So it means that, so in the spinner, if you touch on the spinner, the drop down list will be available. So the user will select any one of the value from the drop down list. So for that, we need to set that particular item. Okay, for that we are going to use a method set on item selected listener. So in this, we should, what I said in the first step, we need to write the code within the onCreate method, that is onCreate method. So first step, what we have done, we have identified the spinner element. For that, we have created an object where it is going to be identified with the find view by ID, that is ID. This is the ID. So next, whether the spinner is null or not, whether the particular item has been selected or none of the item has been selected. We need to check whether it particular object is null or not. For that, we are going to use object, that is spinner dot set on item selected listener. This is how we need to create the spinner. So next step is add the statement that creates array adapter with the string array. Okay, so we need to add a statement where this statement is going to be creates an array adapter with the string array. See, initially, see here what we have done. See what we have done. So we have created this, right? See what we have done. We have created the spinner. Okay, that is spinner element we have created. For this spinner element, we have created a array list. Okay, we have created a array list. So after that, we have written a code in an activity where we are going to identify the spinner element. For that, we have created an object where it is identified through the find view by ID, and we have checked that particular spinner is null or not. It's not null. So next, we are going to add a statement where this statement is going to create an array adapter with the string. So whatever we have been created here, so that is going to be identified through the array adapter. For that, so to create array adapter using the string array and default spinner layer, that is array adapter. For that, we have an object, that is adapter object. So create from resource. Okay. So where this, it takes an argument, this label array and android.all.layout simple spinner item. So this means, so this is the activity that implements callbacks for processing the result of the spinner on that particular context. Okay, this is on the activity which have been implemented, the callback method, that context it is say this. So next is array labels, means whatever the array you have been created. So our layout spinner item is each spinner item. So whatever the in the layout what we have been used for each spinner item, the layout for each spinner item. Next step is we need to specify the adapter should use to display the list of spinner choices. So next, we need to specify the layout adapter. Okay, so why? Because whatever the list of spinner choices will be there, that value should be displayed. So how we are going to display that list of spinner choices? So through by calling a set drop down view resource method, where this method is of a adapter class. This method is in the array adapter class. For example, adapter. So here we have created an array adapter object. Okay, so with an arguments that is this label array and spinner item. Okay, so adapter dot, we need to use this method to display the list of spinner choices, that is set drop down view source. So whatever the default drop down spinner will be there, that we need to pass over as an arc. So after that, we need to set adapter method to be used to apply the adapter to the spin. Whatever the array values which has been there in an adapter, we need to set that adapter to the spinner. For that, we are going to use a method set adapter, where apply the adapter to the spinner. So whatever the spinner object we have created initially, that spinner object, that is spinner dot set adapter, this adapter object is going to be passed. In this adapter, we will be having a list of choices. So as the steps I explained, you can see all the things in one full code, that is within the onCreate method. See here, first we are going to create an object for the spinner element, and we are going to identify the spinner with the find view by ID. Whether we will check whether it is null or not. Then we are going to create an adapter, where that array adapter is going to be created by using a string array. Okay, and for the default spinner layout, that is this. Okay, that is adapter object has been created. Then after creating an array adapter by using a string array, so string array means that is we are having a character sequence, that is we are passing over there. So next, we need to specify the layout to use. So we need to have a layout where the list of choices should be used. For that, for the adapter object, we are going to use a method that is adapter dot set drop down view resource, because we need to have a drop down. Okay, we are passing those drop downs here. So next, after that, we need to set that adapter to the spinner element. So for that, if spinner not equal to null, spinner dot set adapter. Okay, this is the full code, whatever the steps which has been explained. That is the second step. So as I said, the steps, 3 steps. So as here I explained the 3 steps. So till now we learned first step in the XML layout, we are going to be creating spinner element and an array. So second step, we are going to create a spinner and the adapter by using the spinner class method. So now we will see about this third step. So how next is implement the on item selected listener interface in the activity. So now we have created spinner and list of array. We have been made displayed by using an adapter in the layout. Okay. So after displaying that, if we need to select it, one of the value from the spinner list. Okay. So what happens if you select it? Okay. What happens if we select? So to define implementing on select item listener interface in the activity. So for whatever the item we are going to select it, so for that we need to implement an interface. So in our class, see, public class main activity extends app compact activity, and this class is going to be implemented with the adapter view on item selected listener. So to define the selection callback for the spinner, we need to update our activity. Whatever the activity we are using in our Java class, we need to update the activity where that activity should be used the spinner if the particular activity wants to use the spinner, then we need to implement an interface called adapter view dot on item selected listener. Okay, this is how we need to implement it. So why we going to implement this interface? So in order to have a method on item selected, on nothing selected callback methods. See, whatever the item we have been selected, whatever if we have not selected any item in the spinner, we need to use two callback methods. Okay, we need to use two callback methods, that is on item selected, on nothing selected, where these two callback methods are present in an interface adapter view dot on item selected listener. So for this purpose, we are going to implement this particular interface where we can use these two callback methods within the spinner object. So this whatever the Android Studio, we are be using all these methods. So where this Android Studio automatically implements adapter view widgets. Okay, adapter view widgets will be implemented. So when the user chooses an item from the spinner drop-down list, what happens? How we are going to retrieve that item? Okay, we need to learn here. We need to see whenever the user chooses an item from the drop-down list, that is the spinner's drop-down list. As soon as the user chooses, what happens? And whatever the item has been selected, how we are going to retrieve that particular item? So for that, we need to, the below steps will be explained. The spinner object receives an on item selected event. Whatever the spinner object we will be creating, so that is going to be received an on item selected event. Okay. Second step, the event triggers the calling on item selected callback method. So as soon as user clicks on that particular item, so that will be received with the spinner object and event will be triggered. So when the event gets triggered, it is going to call a callback method, that is on item selected, where this particular on item selected callback method is in the interface adapter view dot on item selected listener. So once it triggers, after that selected item, we need to retrieve the selected item in the spinner menu, using how we are going to retrieve that selected item through a method called get item at position. Okay, get item at position method for the adapter view class. This method is present in the adapter view class. So as I said, adapter view widget will be automatically imported in the Android Studio. So where this method get item at position method is in the Android view class. So this is a simple sample code. So where public void on item selected. So this is a callback method. Okay, where we will be creating. Okay, so where we will be using a get item position. So this particular on item selected callback method takes an argument adapter view int long id. Within that, we are going to use an object string object, the adapter view dot get item at the rate position at position with an passing and position dot to string. Okay, so let's see what is the arguments and what is the thing one by one. Okay, so this particular callback method, that is on item selected callback method, is having four parameters: adapter view, position, id. Okay, so it has following. So what is this adapter view? So adapter view, where selection happens, whatever the item has been selected, that for that particular selection, the adapter view will be used. So view, so the spinner element. Okay, the view within the adapter view that was clicked, whatever the view which is going to be clicked, for that we'll be using a parameter view. Next is int POS. It means in the adapter, what is the position of that particular view? In the adapter, what is the position of that particular view. For that, we'll be using a parameter int for POS long ID. So long ID. So whatever the item has been selected for, that is particular row ID will be selected. Okay, that is these four of parameters will be used in the callback method on item selected. So next step is on nothing selected callback. See, implement or override. So we need to implement or we need to override on nothing selected callback method. Okay, on nothing selected callback method of the adapt this particular interface to do something if nothing is selected. So you have a spinner and you have a list of items. So you have not selected any of the item in the drop down list. So what should be happen if you have not selected any of them? So in those cases, we can use a callback method on nothing selected. Within that, we can write our code. What should be done if now any one of the item is not selected from the spinner? This is how we are going to implement.